Watching Avatar The Last Airbender for the very first time. Part 2, episodes 3 through 6. Hi, I'm Taya, one half of Your Little Sisters Productions. I'm a writer, director, and story enthusiast. If you haven't watched part 1, here's a recap. Dante Basco will always be Rufio to me. I've seen the live-action M. Night Shyamalan version, and I know some spoilers for the end of this show, like Rufio has a redemption arc, and Aang and Katara end up together, stuff like that. But I've never watched the actual show before. I touched on how this show is used by so many creators and teachers as an example of storytelling excellence, and in the first 2 episodes, or 2 parts of 1 episode, I can totally see why. And I'm excited to see what other types of storytelling they utilized moving forward. Starting off episode 3, The Southern Air Temple. Here we go.
Fire.
Skip intro. I don't think so. So in this episode, we see Katara and Sokka take Aang to the Southern Air Temple where he used to live before he got stuck in the iceberg. He is convinced that everyone is mistaken and that the air nomads are just hiding. Why is she beating around the bush? The air nomads are dead. That was in the movie. Rufio. Here we meet Commander Zhao. Rufio's uncle? I don't know. Anyway, he's evil. I mean, they are pushing Zhao is evil real hard with the music here. The conversation where Zhao is trying to get information from Rufio is so loaded. What a creep. 2 years? Zhao just said that Zuko has been at sea for 2 years, meaning he was banished when he was like, what, 12?
Come on, Uncle. We're going.
Didn't his dad banish him? And they're all up in his grill about it? Ugh, what a creep. The crew betrayed him? Ugh, death to pirates. Or maybe they were tortured. Zhao is evil according to the music. Okay, we're back with Aang, seeing his home now, 100 years later. Again, we see the juxtaposition of Zuko and Aang. One was loved and happy, but afraid, and now has lost his family, and the other has his family, and they're all treating him like he's disposable. Excluding Uncle Iroh. He's good. I like how Sokka and Katara are trying to make the blow of his lost life less by playing a game with him. You can't protect him forever. Once again, they are taking on way too much for themselves in order to allow Aang to be a kid even for a moment longer. So we learn through this flashback that the old monk Gyatso is the one who taught him how to prank people. No wonder he's so goofy. And he loves it so much. That is the coolest lock ever. The world building in this show is so detailed. You're making a sound. Good dialogue. You tell him, Rufio. A duel. Ooh, I like duels. Wait, in the movie version, his dad gave him his scar during a duel. I really don't like Zhao. I hated him in the movie. Okay, back to Aang and the gang. This is a kid show? Are we sure the Netflix show is more mature than this? Back to Zuko. I'm sorry, what? Katara ends up with Aang while this dude is an option? Suspension of disbelief is very heavy-handed here. I guarantee if I had watched this when I was little, I'd have loved this kid as much as I loved Rufio. I might even have remembered his name. Hey, that's the Jackie Chan repeat a moment trick. Okay, repeat a moment in cinema storytelling is very common in Asian movies. I just learned about it from Jackie Chan. It helps so that not only can you see it from every angle and recognize its importance, but also to convey emotions of a moment. Uncle Iroh's smile here, I just love how he is trying to remain calm whilst also wanting to do cheerleading aerials. I am so glad that the fight scenes in this show are quick and not Dragon Ball Z style. I just no longer have the bandwidth. Iroh is like, yeah, you two peasants have had your chance to fight, but we're done now. Don't taint your victory. I love that Uncle understands how honor actually works. As a kid, I learned this from old cowboy movies, and I thought it was such an important part of being a good person. Now I'm an adult, and I wish more people understood honor at all. I'm thinking the Avatar state is something he cannot control. I like how Katara isn't afraid to talk to him and just get real with him. She and Sokka made the decision to treat him like family because of their desperate need for a family. The found family trope can seem forced, and in this moment of time should feel forced. But the writers made it clear when Sokka and Katara left home they were committed to Aang like a family. Aang's look back is so heartbreaking. The storytelling techniques in this episode are in the small moments. I believe Katara and Sokka think of Aang as family, where in the movie I felt like her saying that came completely out of left field. They hadn't even asked his name by that point. They ignored the little moments of Katara and Sokka distracting him and playing games so the blow of loss could be put off for just a while. Character development through small, significant moments. Okay, now that I'm emotionally damaged beyond repair, let's move on. Episode 4, The Warriors of Kyoshi. Rufio not seeing a pattern in the crazy, huh? This episode starts with a conversation about pants that spotlights everything each character has to learn. Aang has a crush on Katara and wants so badly to impress her that he gets distracted, but she is so busy mothering everyone to even look up. Sokka puts his foot in his mouth about gender roles, showing how much he wants to be a man and clearly has no idea how to do so. You know, like a teenage boy with no father figure, so he adopts stereotypical ideals. They get ambushed and captured because Aang is immature, Katara is worrying, and Sokka is prideful. Oh, so now Aang is getting attention from all the little girls, and Katara is gonna get jealous of Aang, and then she'll like him, not mother him all the time. And the vibes will change from boy with a crush on his babysitter to two kids awkwardly crushing on each other, right? Right. When Sokka says, I'm the best warrior in the village, it's showing that that is his whole identity, and he's gonna have to learn quick what being a warrior actually means. Rufio just came in on some of the derpiest looking rhinos ever. Notice how Rufio fights the girls with no bias. He just takes them out. Unlike Sokka, who had to have a storyline dedicated to him changing his ideals and believing there could be female warriors. It's part of the world building, showing how different cultures teach about threat. The Fire Nation may be just as sexist as Sokka was, but a threat is a threat. It makes the world bigger without having to show the entire world. Storytelling techniques in this episode were once again circular. The circle of the sea snake, Aang does the same stupid and dangerous thing over and over. First he does it for fun, then he does it for clout, and finally he conquers it when he does it for good. Circle storytelling through the character's growth rather than action, both Katara and Sokka learn from that first conversation and change. Next up, Episode 5, The King of Omashu. In this episode, we see a crazy king capture Aang and the gang and force him into thinking outside the box. This is the quest story trope. The quest of 3 tasks made popular by Hercules' 10 labors. It was shortened over the years. Basically, an old wise mentor or judge gives our hero 3 tasks to complete in order to receive a prize or achieve a goal. Then they usually get double-crossed or they get a bigger prize for doing the right thing. It's in Percy Jackson 1, Harry Potter, especially Book 7. It's throughout the Hunger Games. It's basically the entire plot of Aragon and a lot of Lord of the Rings. They each subvert it in their own way, but any great quest-like storyline usually has 3 to 10 tasks and ends where it began. Can they not take off their coats? Aren't his clothes the recognizable thing? Hey, the cabbage guy, I've heard a lot about him. He's in a lot of the merchandising. Aang's rather destructive. Lots of roofs getting destroyed. Who needs Zuko to come in and destroy a village when you can destroy an entire city just by being silly? Okay, the crazy green light is making me dizzy. We get it, they're earthbenders. They have the coolest doors in this show. At the end of the quest, this episode not only does the quest trope justice by giving Aang a prize better than he expected, but it puts the trope on its head by having the mentor not only be crazy, but also Aang's actual age. Aang seeing someone who knew him from before and didn't hate him after all this time, I think is so genius. And it ends where it began, with sliding down the chutes. Okay, we're leaving the crazy town. On to episode 6, Imprisoned. This is the episode that they decided to keep in the M. Night Shyamalan movie, but they butchered it. It was seriously laughable. Anyway, they meet an earthbender, and it turns out earthbending is illegal in this part of the world, as Fire Nation is in control. In order to save a man from a cave-in, Katara convinces the earthbender to move the rubble, and then Katara follows said earthbender to prison and starts a rebellion. Kind of. Old dude turns him in. What an evil little squirt. Sokka's insecurities are so apparent in literally everything he does. Her speech was premature. She's so gung-ho she expects everyone to be like her. When she was unhappy and had the opportunity to change her circumstances, she leapt at it. But these people aren't looking for a way out. They're just resigned.
Well, sir, it looked like a flying bison.
What?
It was a giant flying buffalo, sir, with an empty saddle.
Which was it? A buffalo or a bison?
I'm not sure what the difference is, but that's not really the point, is it, sir?
Okay, just so everyone is clear, a bison was a young American buffalo. They were the same animal, just at different stages of adulthood, until wildlife guides, park rangers, and scientists agreed that since the American buffalo was actually closer to cattle than to the Cape buffalo or the water buffalo, they distinguished them as bison rather than buffalo. So both names are correct. When I was a kid, a bison was just a baby buffalo, or the bad guy from Street Fighter. Broken spirits are better than prison walls. The creators are really able to sell their message of hope in this episode by showing how weird Katara and Sokka are for having any hope at all in this world. I love that she has to work for it, and it's sad and not funny when she bombs. Rufio! Oh, I've missed you. I can see why people hated the Earthbender prison scene from the movie. That was a very, very different scene. This episode is a storytelling technique called yes, but. Does your hero do the right thing? Yes, but it gets him imprisoned. Does your hero find her voice and give a rousing speech? Yes, but the prisoners are too sad to fight back. Does the plan to free the Earthbenders by giving them coal work? Yes, but they don't want to fight. Until it stops being yes, but and turns into yes, and. Do the Earthbenders defeat the Fire Nation guards? Yes, and they all go on their merry way. Alright, that is episode 3 through 6 of watching Avatar: The Last Airbender for the first time. What's your favorite part of the show? Did I miss something important? Let me know in the comments below. And shout out to Lindsay K Art. If you want an avatar, illustrations, or cool artwork, check her out on Instagram. And as always, check out mine and Laura's storytelling in our audio drama, The Adventures of the Dragonborn, on our channel, Your Little Sisters Productions. Be sure to subscribe so you can watch along with me. Bye!